Peter, how are you?
Hey Bob, good afternoon. I'm well. How about yourself?
Very good. I'm excited that you're joining us on a boat, and we're going to talk about that boat in a second. But tell me where you're at. Are you here in Fort Lauderdale right now?
I'm here in Fort Lauderdale, sitting in Lake Sylvia. I thought it was good, a little change from the virtual backgrounds that you've been displaying all day long. And I thought, well, I'm going to give you a real life background. So if you just look around, you see a lot of boats sold by Denison.
Lake Sylvia is one of my favorite places to hang out here in Fort Lauderdale on a boat. And it's one of the only places that I feel sort of comfortable jumping in the water. I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be too much shark activity over there.
Yeah, indeed. I heard you're a big shark fan.
Yeah. It's absolutely scary. So real quick, you are on this boat. Can you tell us really quickly, and I'm going to change the background here so people know what it is. It's one of the more exciting projects coming out of the industry, and it's unique for a few reasons. There we go. There's a nice shot of it. But tell us what we're looking at here, how you got involved, and where in the heck are these things built?
Okay, so I got involved with Hammer Yachts. I started it myself last year. I've been involved in the Catamaran, sail and power cat business for the past almost 20 years with another large manufacturer out of South Africa.
Yep.
And I saw a niche in the market, and together with a South African partner, as well as the original builder of the gunboats, we came up with a concept of building a power cat that's lighter, faster, and more economical than anything that's out there. So when you see a lot of center console boats going around South Florida, you see 1, 2, 3 quad engines, 5 engines, 6 engines, even on the really large ones. And we said, okay, if we build a light boat and we build a fast hull, so there's less underneath, there's less stuff in the water, we can do better. So this boat reaches 50 miles an hour with twin 300 engines. So a 35-foot center console power cat weights, this one with engines, wet weight is 3.5 tons. Okay. So 8,000 pounds. So it's much faster and much more economical. We're carrying 400 gallons of fuel. I have a range of 650 miles. So I can take this boat from Fort Lauderdale today, go to Staniel Key Yacht Club, and come back on 1 tank of gas. I mean, there's many boats that need to stop 3 times for that trip. And
so tell us a little bit about what that means. Are you accomplishing that because of the hull design and the fact that there's 2 hulls here, or is it the materials used? How in the heck are you guys pulling this off?
Yeah, so catamarans are inherently more efficient. However, if you build a very heavy catamaran, you lose all the efficiencies of the twin hulls, because the twin hull basically has less wet surface. So less wet surface means that the boat will go faster. So, and be more economical. So keeping the weight light is also important. So this boat is built from epoxy, much stiffer, much lighter, and it uses an enormous amount of carbon fiber. So everything that you see here is carbon fiber. So the whole top of the boat, which is, a very decent size hardtop, is not even 200 pounds. So it's extremely light. So there's no weight, and that makes the boat much more efficient. And when you're boating normally on a center console or any open boat, when you get on a plane, you need to get out of the hull, and you feel the weight of the engines in the back, and it takes a long time. This boat goes, on a plane from 0 to 15, 0 to 20, literally in a second. It's because it's so light.
So this boat is something that has all these advantages on the range, the cruising part of it. Can you talk a little bit about the fishability of a boat like this? It's obviously
so the fishability. I mean, I'll just walk around a little bit and I'll try to show you. So here you see a very nice large aft cockpit where I can just, we can have 3-4 guys fishing here. I've got 65-gallon live bait wells, 2 of them, a marlin door that I can take out. Also, the center console and the hardtop are much larger than what you would normally see on many of our competitors' boats, because nobody wants to be in the sun. So carbon fiber display, and a little plug here for people that want to know more about the HammerCats website, hammeryachts.com. Also on Instagram, lots of cool pictures. Carbon fiber dashboard, same as you see in high-end sports cars. Here in the center console itself, electric toilet. I didn't clean it up, so there's a lot of mess in there. We got what we call the coffin box right here, good for storage. The walkways around the boat are nice and wide, so we can easily walk around the boat. And right up here, we're quite high off the water, as you can see in the pictures behind you. The bow of the HammerCat 35 is much higher out of the water, which results in a very dry ride. So let me just sit down again. Also, what is quite impressive about the boat, apart from the fact that it's very efficient and light and fast, it's also unsinkable. So all the areas that are not used underneath the deck are filled up with XPS foam. So if you go to Bimini and you're afraid of sharks and you hit a container on your way to Bimini and you're floating around in the water, this boat will not sink. It will always have positive flotation, which is, a very nice and interesting feature for people like yourself.
Very cool. So as part of the guarantee of buying a HammerCat is that you will not die from a shark attack. I just heard that. I'm glad we're recording this.
We're not going to make that part of your contract, Bob, if you want to order one, but we can discuss that after your...
So I have a comment here from somebody that's actually been out on one. Wiley Sharp, an old friend of yours, of course, says he's been out fishing on the boat in 4 to 6 foot seas, and it was a super dry and great ride. That's obviously a pretty important thing. Because not only when you're fishing is it all about the catching the fish part, but there's so much time in between of just hanging out and enjoying yourself on a boat, and to have that good, solid, stable, dry ride part is so critical.
Yeah, no, it is obviously extremely important to have a dry, stable boat, and that's the big advantage of having a catamaran, is that it's much more stable. A monohull will roll in any sea. And this boat, indeed, I took Wiley out fishing a couple of times, and we're not rolling around, but we see a lot of boats around us that are rolling around. So it's a fun boat, and it's a new concept. It's a little bit, everything that's happening in the center console market is always putting on more horsepower, a little bit like what your previous designer said. People want bigger, faster, and they want it now. Whereas we have a different approach, and it's a new concept in the market, and it's taking a little bit. People are asking me at boat shows, they're like, why do you only have 300 horsepower? You want to have 450s on the back of the boat. Why? Because we can. And right now, with gas being so cheap, it's not that much. For a lot of people, it's not that important, but still, we think that it's nice to be efficient so that you don't have to go to the fuel dock every other day.
So I'm looking at this thing here, and somebody might be considering buying one, and I'm going to have to force you to stop trying to sell one of these in a second, because we got to talk about some other stuff. But if you wanted to buy one of these, can you give us a general kind of ballpark? Because I'm looking at carbon fiber, new hull design, and I'm just thinking expensive. What is in real life this going to look like?
Real life delivered to Fort Lauderdale, you're looking in between $300,000 and $400,000 for a boat like the one that you see in the picture with everything on it.
And when you say $300,000 to $400,000, what are the options that you can put on this thing to make it closer to the $400,000 range?
Bigger engines, bigger screens, more electronics. Electronics are pricey. And then we go into your carbon fiber outriggers, and you can make it, and more rod holders, bigger stuff on the boats is always more expensive, as you know.
Gotcha. So I want to talk about
sound systems. Yeah. The sound systems, underwater lights. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. And the no shark attack guarantee, I'm sure, costs something. That's quite an
That's awesome.
So the catamaran market in general is, of course, taking off, and it seems, and this is evidence of the catamaran industry designs affecting so many different parts of the industry that it wasn't really touching before. Traditionally, catamarans, I think they kind of started out as a commercial, a lot of ferries, and then they moved into, of course, a lot of sailing yachts, and then into the general motor yacht HammerCat category, and now, of course, you're seeing this happening in fishing. You've been in the industry for a long time. You've had a lot of success. You actually have worked next door here at one of our largest competitors on the catamaran front. What was it just intuitive for you to just get started out into the catamaran part of the industry? Because it used to be a microscopic part of it. How did you get started in the cat side of yachts and boats?
Yeah, it was by coincidence. I was 18 years ago. I worked for a small Spanish boat builder out of Barcelona, and the office was in the Pink Palace on 17th Street. And I'm sure you remember the building.
Yeah.
And next door to my employer at the time was the Moorings and Leopard. Sorry to mention it, but and they just asked me to join them. And at that point, Leopard started in the U.S. and it was a brand new venture, and it's been a very successful 17 years at that place. And I just had the urge to do something myself and to live the American dream as a Dutchman.
Very cool. And part of that is, and I am saying this as a guy that has very, very small children at home, and there's no seeming like light at the end of the tunnel. Part of that American dream for me is no kids in the house. You're coming up to that place in your life where your kids are going to be out of the house. Are you looking forward to that, or are you guys starting to get emotional?
I don't think with the current climate and also knowing my kids, and they are watching just as is my wife. So hi everybody. I don't think they're ever going to move out. So maybe my son, but my daughter definitely not.
Well, you guys, your family has actually joined us at a few events, and one of the comments here was about. Says here that there is a rumor that you did a great ABBA performance at our last rendezvous. Actually, I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. But your family's so much fun to be with, and I think it just speaks to your friendship and your willingness to do stuff with other firms that you would actually come on our rendezvous, and it's a blast that you did.
No, I mean, it's, people like yourself set the example in the industry. And I think the whole boating industry and small business in South Florida should be very thankful for everything that you're doing to help people like myself, get more exposure. And you're an asset to the boating community. And there's no reason for me. There's no reason for you to thank me. The only thing I can do is, take my hat off to Bob Denison and say, thank you, yes.
Well, it's a lot of fun to talk about new projects, and this isn't just a nice thing to do for you because you're a friend, but you're taking risk and you're doing exciting things, and you're to go out and try something new, put your money down and your passion and pursue that is a scary thing to do. And I love the fact that you've done it in a totally different way. You're not doing it normal, sort of copying the traditional center console mold, but you're going into uncharted waters, and it's awesome to see. My next question kind of leads to that. We only have 2 or 3 more minutes here. What on the Hammer Yacht side, what are you guys doing in the future with like no boat shows this summer, maybe no boat shows this fall? How are you getting the boat out there in this COVID-19 environment?
Well, apart from my my plug today, I'm planning on doing quite a few demo days. Most of the marketing exposure that we do is indeed through Instagram and Facebook and using influencers. I mean, that's the best way, approaching people that have a lot of followers and getting them to come along. Tomorrow morning at sunrise, we're going fishing to catch some big fish. Hope to get some good coverage and get some good pictures and video from there. And that's the kind of stuff that makes people, keen on a new product. And just like in the same way as I'm trying to show you how nice it is to be out on the water on a day like this, as opposed to sitting in an office, that's what we sell and that's what we do. I sell the lifestyle, I live the lifestyle, and that's how I hope and expect that it will all take off. So yeah, it's a pity we're not going to have boat shows, but we have to deal with that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing that because it's easy sometimes just to hide behind social media and just start posting stuff. But the fact that you're doing both, you're like the social media thing is really reflecting your real life, being out on the water, catching fish, engaging with people, having fun. And I think that's the best kind of social media is when it's real, authentic experiences that are just posted digitally, not just a pretend thing,
Yeah, indeed. And then being out on the water with people that know people and so on, and just building, and as coming from the, sailing catamaran and then power cat market in more the cruising territory, this is also a little bit of, uncharted territory for me. It's also something where I have to adapt my marketing and sales experience to something new, and little by little, I'm, it's going well. I'm happy.
and it speaks to you as an entrepreneur that you're out there doing this right now. There's no excuses. You're not hanging out in your house throwing a pity party, but you're out there with a cool new project. You're out on the water and you're doing great things. I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to hear more about the future of your brand. I'm going to get my dumb head out of the way there so people can get a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool boat. And I will definitely ask the marketing team to continue to put some links in the comments and to invite people to join you out on the water.
Awesome, Bob. Well, thank you so much for everything you're doing for me, for the boating industry in general, and for South Florida.
Cool. Well, thank you very, very much. It's nice of you to say. This is a blast for us. And the only thing I can do there is thank the hardworking people on our marketing team that are putting this on together, and the people on our sales team that are talking to people right now. I just got